Let's travel back to the faraway year of 1998. We're at the edge of a vast forest. Suddenly, the quiet night is shattered by an assault helicopter bursting over the tree line. We follow it as it moves over the wild lands, crossing over a wide ravine and coming in for a landing. A group of soldiers have made camp, all carrying heavy weapons, their faces covered. Across the river, we see two shadows detached from the tree line and covertly move to the edge of the ravine. Both are dressed all in black, their faces covered, a man and a woman.
You see?
You're the one with the sharp eyes. What do you see?
Looks like a fresh shipment of weapons was just delivered. Yuri's intel was dead on. I'm thinking Sokovia's about to break the tree.
All right, then let's keep the peace.
The man gets to one knee and pulls a crossbow off his back. He aims, fires, gets a direct hit on a tree across the way.
No sweat.
Show off.
He pulls on a lever and a long cable snakes out from the crossbow to the tree. Another quick click and he plants the crossbow in the ground, securing the line across the river far below them. Silently, the man and the woman mount the rope, pulling themselves along upside down, their backs facing the rock-strewn rapids 100 feet below them. As they cross, the cable bounces.
You feel that?
Yeah, but the line's secure. I know it.
They've reached the halfway point when they feel the bounce again. They stop. The woman looks to the other side but can't believe what she sees. Someone is running across the cable toward them like a tightrope walker.
The hell?
The figure runs right up to them and stops, kneeling down on the rope, her red hair vivid against the army's overhead lights. It is Natasha Romanov, the Black Widow. Natasha smiles down at them, then pulls out a large blade from her belt.
No! Don't!
The man reaches up to his mask. We hear something click.
Spokojna noche.
In one smooth move, Natasha backflips off the rope while cutting the line. The screams of the two agents are cut off by the roaring of the waters they've just fallen into. Natasha lands back on solid ground, and in a practice move, sheathes the knife. We shift our scene to a shipping dock. A shipping container lowers onto the ground from a large crane. Several heavily armored, heavily tattooed men are waiting for it.
Agent Barton?
Hang on.
The men open the container and begin removing crates full of weapons, examining them with great glee.
Agent Barton?
Hang on.
We follow the crane up to the gantry where we see Agent Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, looking down at the group. He has a compound bow in his hand, an arrow already strung.
I hate to bother you.
And yet you are. Not on vacation here, Phil. This is the Mods yet. I don't mean they're American cousins. I'm looking at original old country evil here.
I wouldn't interrupt if it wasn't important.
Fine. Count to 5.
Not this again.
You interrupted me. Now you have to play the game.
Fine. 5.
Not yet. No. On my go. Ready, go.
Clint fires the arrow, which sends a rope down to the ground at an angle. He hooks one leg and begins sliding down it upside down.
5.
Clint fires another arrow, hitting one of the thugs in the chest, the arrowhead exploding into smoke.
4.
Clint fires arrow after arrow. The men are firing blindly, while his arrows hit every target.
3.
Clint lands on top of a container as smoke starts to clear. All of the men are down.
2.
Suddenly, he hears the sound of a revving engine. A motorcycle shoots out below him, weaving in the narrow gaps between the shipping containers.
I'm going to need a half.
2.5.
The motorcycle is getting away. Clint knocks an arrow, cracks his neck, fires. The arrow rockets down the gap, bangs off a container, and lodges in the front wheel of the motorcycle, which suddenly stops, launching the driver high into the air, only to crunch down to the concrete.
1. You know, we have a strike team just down the coast. You didn't have to do this yourself.
Calling in help. Where's the fun in that? All right, now what's so important?
Sending to your device now.
Clint pulls back his sleeve to reveal a thin video screen wrapped around his forearm. On it, we see a grainy picture of Black Widow from the opening scene, just before she cuts the rope.
What am I looking at?
We're not sure, but best guess, this is our first real glimpse of the Black Widow.
How about that? And the photographer?
They didn't.
Yeah, understood. All right. How long ago?
A little over 2 hours, and she's in your neck of the woods, just up the Adriatic.
I'm not going to get to enjoy the Amalfi Coast, am I?
We've been reassigned. The orders came down from Director Fury himself. You are to track down the Black Widow and terminate her.
Understood. So where am I heading?
Time shifts forward as we move north to Prague, where sun is just setting on a light snowfall. We find Clint up in a tree looking down over a country estate. A high wall surrounds the property. Lights are on inside, and from his angle, Clint can see into almost every front-facing window.
Those were the days.
Are you still on about this?
Look, I know what we're doing is important. We're keeping people safe.
Damn right.
But it was better back then.
This is where you mention...
Captain America had the right idea. Bright costume, standing in front of his men on the front lines, punching evil in the jaw.
I prefer staying further back from the action. And standing in the bright, wearing a colorful costume, sounds like a nightmare. Count me out. So, how high rank is this guy?
We're not sure. He's definitely connected, but the money men are always the hardest to pin down.
I'll tell that to Capone. But this guy must be causing enough trouble for the KGB to sick the widow on him. Phil, something you'd like to share with the class?
We're not entirely sure she's operating under KGB authority.
What does that mean? She's gone rogue?
Reports are unclear. It appears that they have operatives in the field trying to locate her as well.
You're telling me their best asset, an elusive, highly trained killing machine, might be on a murder spree, and they're sending their worst to come and collect her?
That is one possibility. You doing okay?
Yeah, great. Starting to feel like an idiot standing in a tree with a freaking bow and arrow when the Terminator's on the loose.
How are things looking?
2 in the house. Daughter's still awake, reading in her room. Dad's up in his office. Oop, hang on.
What's going on?
She's here.
Inside the house, we see the widow moving silently, keeping to the shadows, only a slight shadow even on the digital display.
She's moving. Gone. How the hell's she in the room already?
The Black Widow stands before the desk, catching the man, Sergei, by surprise. He reaches for something, but she grabs his hand and yanks, causing him to slam his head into the desk. She holds him there and starts speaking to him up close.
You got ears?
Hang on, changing up.
Clint puts the arrow back, dials up a new one, pulls, and fires. The arrow hits the brick right above the window and expands, a small light flashing. Widow looks up, giving the outside area a quick scan, then goes back to her interrogation, which we now hear, all in Russian.
You getting that?
Loud and clear. Real-time translators coming online now.
She's in my sights, waiting for the go.
Hold while we're gathering.
Copy. What's the city of snakes? She just said it. He said it back.
Russian?
Oh, well, I'm only enough to get me in trouble.
Translation.
Hang on. Not the City of Snakes. The Serpent Society?
Are you sure?
No, that's why you're having your official translator bots do it. But I'm pretty sure she said... Wait, hang on.
What?
We got a problem. The kid's on the move. She's heading towards the office. Please advise.
Fury said no collateral damage.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. I'm not going to kill a kid. And I also don't want to feed her to the widow.
Widow is pressing a gun to Sergei's head when the daughter knocks on the door and steps inside. Clint shifts his view from Sergei to the daughter, but when he swings back, Widow is gone. The girl enters, book in hand, and looks at her bleeding father in confusion. Widow steps from the shadow, raises her gauntlet, and fires. The daughter falls to the ground. Sergei cries out.
She just killed the kid. I'm taking her out. Lining up a shot.
Barton, Hawkeye, hold.
Screw that.
Real-time translation online.
How could you?
She's not dead, only sleeping. For now.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
How many girls just like your daughter did you give to them? How many went to the Red Room, never saw their parents again?
We didn't know.
You just supplied them with the precious cargo. You didn't care where they went. Tell me, where is Viper?
Wait, who's Viper?
Getting that info now.
I can't. Disturbance Society will kill me.
Sergey, you were dead the moment I stepped into your house. Tell me where she is. Do I need to give you an or else?
Vienna,
It's a big city.
Hofburg, the Museum of Fine Arts. She's trying to track down an artifact.
What artifact?
I wasn't told. Only location and shipping number. But Viper's very keen to get it, and quickly.
Thank you.
And my daughter?
We'll find a better family, far from any of this madness.
Thank you.
Widow turns and shoots him through the forehead. Sergei drops to the ground, dead. Widow turns and looks down at the girl.
Sergey's dead.
You are free to engage. Repeat, you are free to engage.
Clint lines up his shot again. Widow stands over the girl, then bends down and carefully picks her up. Clint lowers his bow. Natasha carries the girl gently down the stairs.
Agent Barton, can you hear me? You are cleared to make the shot.
Clint puts his arrow back, dials up a new one, aims at the front door. Natasha opens the door and steps out onto the front steps.
Agent Barton.
Taking the shot.
The arrow hits a few inches to the side of Widow's head, slamming into the wall, sending shards of brick onto her face and clothes. Widow stops, looks at the arrow, then up to where Clint stands. She pauses, then begins slowly walking toward the car in the driveway. When no more arrows come, she quickens her pace, strapping the girl in the back seat. She looks up at the tree line and gives a small nod, and then gets behind the wheel and drives away.
Barton, please advise.
Negative impact.
But you never miss.
Clint slides his sleeve up and checks his display. On the map, he sees a small red dot moving away from him. Inside the car, on Widow's collar, we see a small tracking device.
First time for everything. Do me a favor, Phil. Book me a ticket to Austria.
It's a beautiful sunny day in Vienna. We're at the Hofburg, a huge Austrian palace. Tourists walk the large open spaces between ornate buildings. Clint stands next to a huge statue, now dressed in tourist guise, a backpack over his shoulder. The crowd moves around him, taking pictures, speaking in all different languages.
Any sign of the target?
None. Tracker's still working. We're in the area. Museum's right across the way. I'll spot her.
We need to talk about this.
We really don't.
You missed.
The wind shifted. Sun was in my eyes. My arm twitched. Saw a pretty bird.
Which of those is true?
Pick one.
Agent Barton.
Look, tell me about Viper.
Baroness Ophelia Sarkissian.
Oh, Baroness. How fancy.
Married a baron, killed him, and used all his holding to finance her fanatical organization known as the Serpent Society. If it's awful, they've made money on it. Arms dealing, human trafficking, drugs. It's a one-stop shop of awful.
And they've got a thing for snakes.
They do. Code names, even some genetic modifications.
You.
Reports even tie them back to Hydra.
Another relic of the past, like this guy.
Like what guy?
Sorry, I'm standing under a statue of some dude on a horse.
Ah, yes, that's Prince Eugene of Savoy. He fought against the Turks and the Ottomans and even...
Seriously, Phil, you just keep all this stuff in your head?
Sure. Eugene was an interesting guy.
Yeah, don't care.
Joined the military at 19 and fulfilled the soldier's dream.
What, killed enough of the other guy that he got a statue?
No, he came home. Died in his bed at the ripe old age of 72.
Huh, how about that? Way to go, Eugene.
Excuse me.
Hang on, Phil. Yes?
Sprechen Sie Americano?
What?
Oh, great. Another one. Trying to find the Schmetterling House, the Butterfly Museum. You know, Das Butterfly.
No, sorry, don't know it.
Oh, hey, you are American. I knew it. Me too.
Wouldn't have guessed.
This place, I mean, it's pretty and all, and everyone looks American, but when you go up to talk to them, it's all, no sprechen, no sprechen.
Oh, imagine that. People speaking their own language in their own country.
Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, hey, I think you dropped this.
I didn't.
I'm pretty sure this is yours.
Clint rolls his eyes and looks down to see the woman holding the tracking device in her palm. He meets her eyes for the first time. It's Black Widow. Clint reaches for a weapon, but Widow slides up to him, pressing her wristband into his side.
Lots of sightseers around. Wouldn't want to make a scene.
Black Widow?
I've been called worse.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And you are Robin Hood?
Hawkeye.
Why would you name yourself after a sitcom doctor?
It's not... Never mind. It's not worth going into. Enjoying Vienna?
Seeing the sights or trying to, but it's a little tough with S.H.I.E.L.D. breathing down my neck. And who are we talking to back at HQ? How many eyes does he have?
First time I've ever been mistaken for Director Fury.
Word is you're off the reservation.
I don't know that expression.
Who are you getting your orders from, Widow? Our intel says it's not Russian intelligence.
Your intel is wrong.
Really? Then why'd they hit Sergei's house an hour after we left? Cleaning up your mess or trying to track you down?
I've got some personal business to take care of.
So you're on vacation. I didn't think the KGB allowed that kind of thing. Well, you should join S.H.I.E.L.D. We get sick leave and vacation time.
Pass. Now, I'm going to zap you. You'll take a little nap, and when you wake up, I'll be long gone.
Yeah, okay, but that's not what's going to happen. Not since I'm holding this.
What is that?
Knockout gas arrow? Arrowhead, actually. I primed it, so now it's kind of a dead man switch. You knock me out, I drop it. It makes a big cloud. Nighty-night.
I'm pretty fast.
Not this fast. You zap me, we both head off to Dreamland. And I'm guessing my friends get here before yours, if you have any friends left.
Fine.
There. Now we can talk like regular government-sponsored killers. What are you doing here?
The Serpent Crown.
What's that?
Checking now. Keep her talking. We're moving into position.
It doesn't matter, but I know she wants it.
She? You mean Viper?
I know you were sent here to kill me. That's fine, goes with the job. But I'm guessing you want her too.
I'm listening.
You work with me, help me take her down.
And then you come along quietly.
Not a chance. But I give you your shot to best me. You, me, no games. Mano a mano.
But you're not a mono.
Mano means hand in Spanish.
Oh, yeah, sure. Fine, I get it. In that case...
But a huge explosion interrupts them. From across the clearing, they see a huge plume of smoke coming from the museum. People are running and screaming.
Did I mention she's not the only one looking for it?
Gotcha. So, truce?
Truce.
Let's go.
The two of them sprint across the clearing towards the chaos. They reach the museum, but can't get close due to the crowds and smoke. Widow spots a group of armed men running out the side of a building toward the waiting van.
Omen, this way.
It's Hawkeye. I see him, okay. Dudes in combat fatigues, carrying rifles, faces painted with snakes. Must be the Serpent Society, right?
No.
Wait, what do you mean, no?
Those are sons of the serpent.
You mean there's another snake cult?
For an operative of an intelligence organization, you...
Yeah, all right, I've heard it before. But bad guys, right?
Racists and hate mongers, yes.
Good. Only like sticking arrows into scumbags.
Clint reaches into his bag, throws on his quiver, and pulls out his bow, which he snaps to life. He fires, taking out one of the men. The others turn and begin shooting at him. Widow pulls out her weapons and returns fire.
How do you know these aren't like Serpent Society flunkies?
Society members are different.
Different how?
Clint pops up to fire again, but finds his view blocked by a huge body. He looks up and up to find a giant of a man, his skin looking slightly scaly.
Oh, different. Gotcha. Hey, how's it going?
The man lashes out, grabbing Clint in his long arms, lifting the agent off the ground, squeezing tightly. This is Constrictor. Widow moves to help, but stops suddenly as a clawed hand swipes where she just stood. A dark-haired woman in green armor and matching green lipstick stands before her. Her clawed gauntlets drip liquid that sizzles as it hits the dirt.
Viper.
Yes, have we met? Oh, wait, You're one of Petrovich's girls. Making a play for the crown, too?
No, I'm here for you.
Oh, dear. Has it grown a conscience? Ivan will be so displeased. Morality is a weakness, my dear. Surely you can see that.
You're done. The Serpent Society's finished. I'll destroy it right after I deal with you.
My dear child, you are welcome to try.
They fight. Meanwhile, Clint is being constricted.
Usually don't, like to get this close on a first date. Oh man, this is gonna suck.
Clint rears back and headbutts Constrictor, who laughs. Then Clint leans forward and bites the man's nose, chomping down and shaking it like a dog on a rag. Constrictor howls in pain and loosens his grip.
You taste as bad as you look.
Clint drops to the ground, rolls, and grabs his bow. The man turns, blood dripping down his face, and roars. Clint fires. An arrow explodes next to Constrictor's foot, encasing it in a growing adhesive. The man looks up at Clint in confusion. Clint shrugs. Constrictor rips his foot free in one easy motion and moves toward Clint.
Okay, great.
Clint pulls another arrow, aims at Constrictor's face, and lets it fly. The arrow explodes, covering Constrictor's face in the same adhesive goo. The man tries to pull it off, but it gets his hand stuck.
Even a snake's gotta breathe, dude.
Constrictor collapses to the ground. Clint, catching his breath, gets to his feet, sees Widow and Viper locked in an epic duel, neither woman giving the other an inch. Clint tries to avoid Widow and get the bead on Viper, but the women are moving too fast.
Oh, wait, what do I care?
Clint starts firing randomly at both women. They both separate to dodge the attacks. Natasha slaps down an arrow.
Hey,
My bad. Hey, Sidewinder, I think those boys are making off with their jewelry.
Viper looks over and sees the sons of the serpent climbing into the van.
Another time then, little ballerina. Here's something to remember me by.
Viper reaches behind her back and drops 2 grenades at her feet, then dashes after the men. In slow-mo, we see Clint stand his ground, pulling another arrow and firing while Widow leaps up, grabs him by the quiver, and pulls him into cover. The arrow flies straight and true, and they get behind cover just as an explosion engulfs him. As the smoke clears, we see Widow crouching over Clint, rubble covering her back. She stands up just in time to see the van turn in a corner. Viper in pursuit, but too far away to catch it. Then they are both out of sight.
Bouge moi.
Little help?
Natasha looks down at him, laying on the ground, and sneers, taking a step back.
Is this about the arrows? I knew where I was aiming.
Clint stands up, and something metal falls off of him, rolling across the bricks towards Widow. It's the gas arrowhead.
Zadrota!
Natasha turns away, covering her mouth, but nothing happens. She feels a tapping on her shoulder. Clint is there, waggling the arrowhead at her. Then...
Minty fresh. You saved me.
What?
The grenades, the explosion, you grabbed me. You saved my life.
We had a truce.
You could have let me die, and no one would have been the wiser. You could have even blamed it on the hot snake lady.
Her? Hot? Really?
But you didn't.
Reflexes.
I don't buy that. You work alone. That's your rep.
Focus, Yankee. You've lost the crown. You've lost Viper.
Well, maybe, maybe not.
Flashback. We rewind to the end of the action scene, and this time we follow that last arrow fired off before the grenades went off. It hits one of the sons of the serpent, and he drops to the ground as the rest of the crew speeds away. Back to real time, Clint and Widow stand over his body. Clint starts going through the man's pockets, pulling out some papers.
What did you find?
Plane ticket and an invitation?
Let me see that. The Grautreffen.
And that's...
It's a floating auction for the things that can't legally be bought and sold. I've attended a few.
Buying or selling?
Both. You are not without your uses, American.
Truce still in effect, Glasnost and Perestroika.
Da. But I'd rather not speak with the Austrian police. Shall we?
Ladies first.
And where are we headed?
Looks like we're going to Budapest.
The two of them warily leave the scene together, watching each other closely. In scenic Budapest, the royal palace sits next to the Danube River, a huge castle on a hill. The place is set up for a huge gathering, spotlights, red carpet, and well-dressed rich folk. An expensive sports car, low and black, pulls up to the main gate. The door glides open, revealing Clint, now dressed in a nice suit and a long topcoat. He moves to the other side of the car, and Widow steps out in a dangerous red dress that leaves little to the imagination. Clint takes her arm as they move up the staircase, scanning the crowd. They make their way inside, grabbing drinks and mingling while scoping out the area.
What a bunch of...
Careful. Everyone's watching everyone else. These are your peers.
Yeah, the term wretched hive of scum and villainy comes to mind.
Please try and play the espionage game, just until we find our target.
Hey, I'm just as much of a spy as you are.
Oh, now, we both know you're not half the anything that I am.
Well, I definitely couldn't fill out a dress half as well.
Keep it together, Yankee. It's not meant to distract you.
Relax, you're not my type.
Why, Robin Hood, do you have a little John waiting back at home?
No, ma'am. I just don't tend to go for people who are trying to destroy my country. You know, kill anyone who gets in their way, and a blind loyalty to the regime who would, rather see them dead than thinking of themselves.
So, not into redheads?
Not so much, no.
Now that you've gotten the 60 commander out of the way, what's up?
The voice in my head says we need to get back in the game.
I've never left it. I've spotted 3 potential buyers, 2 ex-lovers, and...
Partridge in a pear tree?
The head of the Sons of the Serpent's European division. I'm sure he's a top bidder for the Serpent Crown.
Why are you so hot to get this thing?
I told you, I only care about it because she cares about it.
Why do you care so much about her?
That's not going to help you complete your mission.
Fine. Is there anyone else who might be listening in on our conversation who could tell me what a big deal the snakehead is?
The Serpent Crown has shown up in ancient texts reaching back to before the Egyptians. It's supposed to bestow great power on the wearer, even summoning an army to fight with them.
That's just great.
It's got enough pull that people have been worshipping it for generations. Cults seem to love it. It disappeared just before the First World War and was discovered during some excavations outside Munich.
And now it's here, and all sorts of crazy snake people want to buy it. I'm guessing Fury wants this too?
I'd like to take a look at it. Absolutely.
Of course he would. Everybody's got to have a hobby. Why not collecting weird relics? So, grab the crown, capture Viper, and escape.
From a building full of corrupt politicians, hardened criminals, and all of their security.
Times like this, there's some words of wisdom I don't like to reflect on.
And those are?
I knew the job was dangerous when you took it.
Is that from Nick Fury?
No, Super Chicken.
Widow sighs and walks out of the room, Clint following at her heels.
What? It's a good show.
I was always a fan.
Inside the ballroom, the crowd has thinned. Only the VIPs can get this far. The ballroom is huge and ornate. Balconies ring the space. At the far end, a stage has been set up with lights and microphones. Armed guards move through the crowd.
Darling, you take me to the most charming places.
Don't I, though?
I count 17 guards.
I only got 15.
Woman near the left exit. She's much too attached to that metal briefcase.
That's 16.
Man at the bar.
The one with a weird beard, how do you figure him?
He hasn't eaten or drank anything in the last 20 minutes.
So, maybe he's not thirsty.
Then why is he at the bar?
Fine, 17.
What's going on? Why are you scratching at your ear?
I've lost comms. Right now, all I'm getting is static.
It's likely they're jamming communication to keep things intimate.
Terrific. I really hate being this low. I'd rather be up there, in the balcony where I can see better.
Just be relaxed. People are starting to notice. Look over at me and smile.
Like this?
Try again. Only Think of her when you look at me.
Her who?
Come on. There's a her back home, just waiting for your call. Attaboy. Now talk to me.
About what?
Make conversation. Let me help. Why the bow and arrow?
What do you mean?
You've got the eyes of a sniper. Even an average rifle could get you way more accuracy from a greater distance than your stick and string.
Well, it's not about accuracy.
And much more efficient. You could fire 6 rounds from a mag before you could get, 2 arrows in the air? Why not make things easy on yourself?
I don't use it because it's easy. I do it because it's hard.
That makes no sense.
Look, you get a dozen guys, you give them the same rifle, they can all make the same shots. No one can do what I can do with my bow.
I can throw a knife and take out an enemy, but a gun is much more efficient.
That's because you're only thinking in terms of bullets to bodies. I can deliver multiple payloads and put them wherever I want. Explosives, adhesives, trackers, grapple lines. I take anything from here and I put it away over there within a couple of inches.
So you're a mailman, making deliveries.
Well, yeah, in a way. Plus, first guy that goes down with a foot of carbon fiber sticking out his chest, it tends to, demoralize the others.
The psychological factor. This I can understand.
Thank you.
Still inefficient, though.
Well, agree to disagree.
No, just disagree.
All right, never mind. Looks like the festivities are kicking off.
A man takes the stage. He reaches the mic and raises his hands for quiet. The lights go down, leaving only him illuminated. He begins speaking in Hungarian.
You getting any of this?
Typical stuff. Welcome. Glad you could all be here. Don't kill each other while on castle grounds. The usual.
Yeah, the usual.
Looks like they're starting with the crown first. Here it comes.
A woman brings out a box and hands it to the man. He makes a big show of opening it, revealing a green crown, carved so it looks like snakes coiled around each other. The eyes of each snake are red gems.
That's it. Huh. Thought it'd be more impressive.
Leces sunt rerum spices.
What's that mean?
Don't speak Latin either. You sure you're a SHIELD agent? Not just someone they picked up at a carnival?
Funny you should mention that, actually.
But we don't learn why that's funny, as gunfire erupts from one of the rear doors. The doors explode open to reveal Viper, followed by her armed goons in green armor. The guards snap into action and a gunfight kicks off, the patrons running for the main door only to be met by more armored men.
Looks like she needs an audience.
You wanted a better view? This might be a good time.
Natasha and Clint start heading for one of the side balconies as Viper makes her way through the crowd, ignoring the people dying around her, her eyes fixed only on the crown. A guard tries to stop them, but Natasha takes him out, snagging his gun in the process. Clint reaches under his jacket and pulls out his bow, firing a line into the ceiling. He takes out a metal cleat. Both he and Widow rapidly ascend up the rope, stepping out on the deserted balcony.
Private Box, you know how to treat a lady.
I have my moments.
Looks like she's gathering the crowd.
I don't know how we're going to get these people out of here.
I'm more worried about myself.
Friends, foes, and fools, you thought you could keep me down? Shut me out, lock me away? You ignored me, but now you will worship me. And every queen needs her crown, and this one fits perfectly.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
Wait for it.
Viper opens her eyes, now glowing red. She gestures and ghost snakes spring from the ground, leaping up into the ceiling, then falling down into the gathered citizens, who begin screaming and writhing. As Viper laughs, the crowd stands up, now slightly green and scaly, their eyes also glowing red, an army assembled.
So there's that now. At least she hasn't noticed us.
The bowman and the ballerina. There you are.
You had to say it.
Come on, we're way up here. What's she going to do?
One of the thugs hands Viper her grenade launcher.
Oh, yeah, that'll probably do it.
A gift from your queen.
Viper fires, the grenade arcing up and landing right at their feet.
Nice shot.
Widow and Clint leap onto the rope as the grenade explodes, dropping the balcony to the ground. The explosion also knocks the arrow loose and the two of them fall to the floor. Bruised and dirty, but still alive, Widow helps Clint to his feet. They turn just in time to see the new army of snake creatures running at them. They take cover behind the broken balcony.
Here we go.
Widow and Clint pop up and start firing as they are rushed by the mob. They're holding their own, but the numbers are not on their side.
At some point, I'm going to run out of arrows.
You're right. I'm going to cut the head off the snake. Clear me a path?
That I can do.
Natasha leaps over the barricade and runs into the crowd toward the stage. Clint fires, each arrow taking out a creature as Widow reaches them. The last one he hits in the leg, causing the man to drop down. Widow uses him as a ladder, leaping off of him to take the stage. Blood is leaking from Viper's eyes. Energy crackles off the crown, scorching her face.
Little dancer, you've already lost.
The crown is killing you.
No, I can control it. I am its master.
The power is too much for one person to control. It's going to destroy you.
You here to save me?
No, I want to be the one to kill you.
You could barely match me when I was human. Now I am a god.
Then show me your divinity.
Widow and Viper face off. Since the invention of the fight, there have only been 5 fights that were rated the most intense, the most incredible. This one left them all behind. At the end of an amazing combo, Widow knocks the crown off Viper's head and drops the woman to the ground. All of the snake people scream in rage. The crown on the ground sparks and glows, getting brighter and brighter.
Situation has not improved.
You fool! Once unlocked, the power cannot be stopped, only controlled. Without a host, it will destroy us all.
Widow looks over at Clint, shrugs, and then punts the crown into the rubble.
No!
Viper and the snake people scramble madly for the crown, turning on each other, but each growing larger, stronger, meaner. Viper disappears into the scrum.
Das Vidanya.
Widow runs, pointing toward the intact balcony over the main entrance. Clint leaves cover, running to meet up with her along the way.
I think it's time for our exit.
Before the whole place explodes, I agree.
Clint fires up and the two rappel up to the ceiling and out the exit. Behind them, some of the snake creatures are climbing the walls, still in pursuit. In the hallway, Clint and Widow run, firing behind them, but continuing to move. Clint shoots a fire alarm, sirens begin blaring, and the sprinklers go off.
Now we're wet. Wonderful. You have a plan, a destination?
Plan, survive, destination, up.
That's it? Up?
Look, first floor, full of slime balls who'd kill us. Second floor, snake people who'd do worse. So we go up.
I've decided to endorse this plan.
Natasha kicks down a door and the two of them are on the roof. She pushes the door closed, uses her wrist blasters to spot weld it closed.
Now what?
Give me a second, I'm creating new problems as I solve the old ones. Right, 5 stories up, no buildings nearby, crazy killers below us, enchanted crown about to explode, no way to jump down. Is this the point where I'm supposed to ask for help from a higher power?
Agent Barton?
Bill,
What's happened? We lost contact. Did you say exploding crown?
I did, yeah. I'll give you the whole story, but right now I need a way off this roof. Tell local law enforcement to get everyone clear of this building.
Got it. Message being relayed. Hold for further information.
Voice in your head has woken up?
Yeah, he's looking for a way down.
The roof shakes as a blast of energy erupts from the center of the castle. Pieces of the roof begin crashing down to the ground.
Please tell them to go faster.
Phil, I'm running out of stability.
Head to the northeast.
You realize that's back toward the glowing energy of doom, right?
I do, but it's your best shot. You have arrows left?
Yeah, 2.
Good.
Clint and Natasha hop, skip, and jump their way across the falling rooftop, finally reaching the edge.
Here,
What do you see?
in front of me, the beautiful blue Danube, behind imminent death.
Look down.
Clint does and sees a large statue of a horse and rider down below them.
You think you can hit that?
Of course. You ready?
Always. Let's go.
Clint aims, fires, the rope spooling out behind the arrow. It makes impact right between the statue's shoulders blades. Clint plants the other half on the rooftop. Clint and Widow back up as far as they can, run, and leap off the roof just as a huge explosion goes off behind them. You just know that's going in the trailer. Widow and Clint slide down the rope as the castle behind them is engulfed in flames. The two of them land heavily on the back of the stone horse as a massive blast causes most of the castle to implode.
Agent Barton?
Yeah, we made it. We're clear.
Understood.
And to whom do I owe this miracle? Who is this handsome stone gentleman?
You're not going to believe this. But that's Prince Eugene again.
What? No way.
It's true. The guy got around.
That's it. I'm naming my firstborn after him.
Really?
No, she'd never let me.
She?
Yeah, she.
Clint climbs down and helps Widow onto the ground. Immediately, they are surrounded by rescue workers checking on their condition and separated. Clint sees Widow duck into the crowd and fights his way to follow her. On the banks of the river, a lone woman has wrapped herself in a blanket and is heading off away from everyone.
Black Widow.
Widow stops. Her shoulders drop. She takes a moment to power up both her wrist blasters, then turns, dropping the blanket to the ground. Clint stands, his last arrow nocked, aimed right at her.
I think we have some unfinished business.
You sure you want to do this? You stopped the bad guy.
Did I?
Of course. Executing the agent of a foreign power should look pretty good on a shield ledger.
It would. So would completing my actual assignment.
I'm not going to make that easy on you.
I'd expect nothing less. Except,
what?
where were you going?
Following the river, there's a small market up ahead. I saw it on the way in. I can steal clothes there, food.
And then?
Get out of the country.
And then?
I'd...
You'd run. And keep running. SHIELD wants you dead, so does the KGB. Plenty of the smaller agencies would be happy to make either of those big dogs happy by taking you out.
I know.
What about another option?
Agent Barton, what are you doing?
You offering to run away with me. What about her?
No. Don't run. Come with me. Join SHIELD.
Wait, you do not have the authority to...
Boring conversation anyway.
You're serious?
Kinda, yeah.
You must be insane. Your mission is to kill me.
It is. But I'm making a different choice.
Why? I'm against everything you stand for.
No, you're not.
I've killed so many. Probably people you knew.
Ditto.
What makes you think I'm a thing worth saving?
Don't know. Just a hunch.
A hunch.
You're different. I saw it on the first day with the girl. Sergei's daughter.
Sonia.
You should have killed her. I mean, not you should have killed her, but that's what your training said to do, what they told you should do. No loose ends, no attachments.
How do you know I didn't take her deep into the woods? Kill her there.
Yeah, you didn't. Why were you after Viper?
She was an enemy of the state.
Nope.
She'd killed my partner.
Nope.
Her weapons had been used
Nope.
to the Serpent Society.
Nope.
Dermo. It was the girls.
Which girls?
One of Viper's steady contracts was supplying girls to the Red Room. When I found out...
It was the last straw.
I don't know this expression.
You couldn't take it anymore.
Yes. I wouldn't let what happened to me happen to them.
You defied your country, your superiors, even your conditioning, all for kids you never met.
I did.
I told you. Listen, I'm not saying this is going to be easy or that your life is going to get any simpler. Neither of us is going to have like a farm upstate that we retire to, no matter how much we might want that.
Your sales pitch leaves much to be desired.
But I can tell you this. What you're talking about, taking kids, making weapons out of them, we don't do that. And if it turns out we do, then I know which way to aim my arrows. Neither side is perfect. We've got issues too. But we do have one thing.
Freedom.
Well, I was going to say pizza. Better than anything in Moscow, that's for sure. But yeah, freedom too. Look, I'm not asking you to bake an apple pie and kiss Uncle Sam. I'm saying, trust me, just for now. You have my back, I have yours.
And Nick Fury, he'd let this happen?
Oh, he's going to be pissed. And he'll yell. He's really good at that. He's got this vein like in his temple, throbs when he really gets going. Come on. I'll take you to a Cubs game.
I prefer American football.
Don't get me started. I just lost $100 on the Super Bowl.
You bet on the Packers?
They had it in the bag. I'm telling you.
Why would you bet against Terrell Davis?
Now you're busting my chops. You sound like Phil.
Who is Phil?
You'll meet him. He won't like you at first, but that'll change. By the way.
Yes?
I'm Clint. Clint Barton, Hawkeye.
Natasha Romanov, the Black Widow.
Well, Natasha Romanov, welcome to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Thank you.
You know, Nat, I think this is the beginning of a very odd friendship.
Offers his arm and she takes it. The two of them walk along the Danube River at night while Buda Castle burns behind them. The end.
That was Black Widow Hawkeye, One Night in Budapest, presented by Legible Scrawl, written and directed by me, Kyle Olson. And now our amazing cast, as Natasha, Anastasia Plumb. As Clint, Ryan Dalton. As Viper and the female agent, Vicky Hall. As Agent Coulson, Justin Kent. As Sergey and the male agent, Christopher Stussy. And our long-suffering narrator, Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's our show. I hope you guys liked it. You do all the social things, like, subscribe, follow. We hope you had a good time, and we hope to see you there. And as always,